Hey everyone, and welcome to the Lexifer podcast. Today is the 4th episode. Am I lying? I'm not restarting this, and I'm live checking just to make sure. Yes, episode number 4. Hello everyone. 4 is a powerful number, and we're here today. Blessed. Yes, sir. So basically today's episode is going to be a fun one. Hold on, my boyfriend's calling me. Should I ignore him? Hold on, I'll be right back. And we're back. That was a lovely conversation. He will be here soon. Maybe if his ADHD does not get in the way, he will come in while I'm recording this. I hope not, to be honest, because I just want to finish it and not get cut off and have to kindly kick him out of the room. All right. Speaking of today's episode, it's going to be a great one. I feel like that was kind of a good segment. Although I was slightly interrupted, it was a good segment because today's episode is brought to you by, just kidding, one day we will have a sponsorship and it will be great. I promise you. I'm going to guess, do you hear the Mr. Softy? I open the windows because I love the smell of fresh air. It's so basic, but I just love it. Like AC is not for me. AC, I love it because it like cools me down, but like I just want to breathe air sometimes. That's ironic. ADHD, back on track. I am a mess right now. Also, I do want to preface while my notes are loading up. This is around the time, I'm filming around the time where kids start to get told to come inside. So if you hear like parents parenting their children, this is not a professional setting. I don't do things for audio quality besides the fact that my mic, you can hear me. I don't care about background noise, and I want to attract audience members that don't either. So if it does bother you, I'm sorry. It's not the podcast for you. Maybe one day it will be. Maybe I'll have a studio, but I don't want one. I kind of just like sitting in my bed or couch. So so today's episode is basically we're gonna go over a lot of like deep stuff I've been thinking about, not necessarily thinking about, but just like stuff that is prevalent to my life right now. And the topic of today's episode is gonna be basically about like experiencing your first healthy relationship after years of like toxic behavior, toxic tendencies, accepting toxicity. Like it's just a lot. I've just been starting to realize that I'm really hard on myself, and it kind of stems from how I was raised. And sometimes I just always doubted myself because I wasn't really given confidence. I had to kind of learn it on my own, and it took me 23 years, 24 years to learn it. So when you just like meet people who've only seen you at your, healed, or, I started working on myself, healing myself. So these people who haven't seen this unhealed version of me, or unaware or unawakened version of me, it's so weird because their only perception of me is like what I've grown to be, what I've changed myself to be, what I worked on to be. Like I've worked so hard on myself to be this that a lot of the time people give credit to, people who, raised me, or people are, oh my gosh, whatever. But healing is an inner journey. It's not to thank anyone around me, or not to not give credit to anyone who raised me or anyone who, was around me, because for sure that had an impact. But it's very, I don't want to get away from the main message I'm trying to get out here is basically, it's just so strange because the first time I ever experienced this was on my Costa Rica trip in 2023. Sorry, I don't know why I have let me turn that off. 2023, I went to Costa Rica and I met these few people, and these two girls, they told me like, oh my God, like you seem like the type to like wake up and like meditate and just have so much peace in your life. You're so calm. And it's like, if she had met me a year before then, she probably, 1, wouldn't have liked me. 2, would definitely not have said that. Calm, and I seem like I meditate. Like if you told my family that, they'd be like, what the heck, who did you meet? If you told my childhood friends that, who what Alexis did you meet? Because that wasn't the same one we know. So it's just like sometimes when people know so many versions of you, they kind of hold on to the old ones, and that's their only perception. So that allows you to kind of like, sometimes you notice like unhealed versions of you coming out with certain people. It's because they bring that version of you out, because that's the version that they have, like the perception of that you that they have in their head that they just can't let go of. Which it's like you've let go of that version of you, but sometimes when people can't, it kind of brings you back, especially if these are people who, you know, they're not just friends, they're people who are in your life, engraved in your life. You have no other option but to accept them and to have them in your life. And it's not even a bad thing. It's just that's who they know you are. That's who they know you as. And it's not like you were a horrible person and they just like constantly bring stuff up. Like it's just like subconsciously happens. I also feel like what really made me do this is I recently made a step in my professional life, and a lot of the times when I was working, I was really hard on myself and telling myself like I'm not doing enough, or I don't know how I just don't know what I'm doing. Not what I'm doing. I'm just questioning my like self-doubt, and I'm doubting myself. And no matter how many times people tell me I'm great, I just don't think it's good enough. And I think when things are too easy and I'm good at something and I master something and it becomes easy for me, I tend to think I'm not doing enough. And I don't know how to describe it. Like, I feel as though that I know that I'm doing a good job. People tell me I'm doing a good job. But when I just feel like I wasn't given that as a foundation in my brain when my brain was growing as a kid. And it's just hard for me to accept compliments sometimes because it just makes me really uncomfortable. And it's like I'm becoming more aware, and I'm very aware that I am a changed person now, and I'm a good person, and I'm nice, and I'm genuine. It's just really hard to believe it when people think that of me. I'm just like, I don't know. It's so hard because I was getting a lot of nice messages like, wow, you've done so much work, like amazing professional work, and all this amazing like messages I've received from people. And like, I just thought that I wasn't good. And you just think all this bad stuff about people. And it's just like, I also thought about, sorry, I'm rambling, but you think about all this bad stuff about yourself, and then people, you know, give you like what is the truth, and then they like you, and you're like, wow, I didn't think people actually liked me. I didn't I think it's so harsh, but it's like sometimes a reality. Like, you're really hard on yourself. Like it's like you paint a picture. You paint on a canvas. You look at it for hours and hours and hours, and you're like, I'm sick of this. Oh, like, I don't think this is good. This looks so ugly. And then somebody walks in the room and they're like, oh my God, that is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. Like, what are you talking about? It's ugly. This is amazing. And you can take a step back and look at it. But sometimes, like, if you really don't have like confidence engraved into you and competence engraved into you, and just like knowing that what you do has worth, what you do it has meaning, and you have purpose, and you don't have to work and earn love. You don't have to work and earn like respect, and it can just be easy, and you can just be yourself, and people will like you. It's like the quote from Up. Like, I always like think about that. Like, my mom just tells me that I should just be myself and people will like me. And like 100% something that when I eventually have children, I want to engrave into their brains is the glitter will always stick. Like, sometimes you're going to meet people and they're not going to like you. It's not, I mean, hopefully they're not horrible people, but most of the time it's not because you're a bad person. It's just because you don't connect with that person and they don't like you, or you don't like, it's nothing personal. It's just not your person. And when you find people who really accept you for you and love you for you, like, nothing can take that away. And the glitter will stick where it's meant to be. Like, sometimes when you throw glitter at glue, so you shake the rest off, it falls into the trash, and you're left with what sticks. And that's the people that you should keep around you. And the more you change yourself to fit your environment, you're just going to always feel like an outlier. You're always going to feel like an extra in a play. Like, you set your tone, set your character, find yourself, be who you want to be, and all that. It's like really hard because sometimes people, they're just raised to be super ingenuine, and it causes people to feel lost. And it can take so much time to become self-aware and try to find yourself and find your self-identity. That's why it's so important. Like, a lot of people have children and don't realize, like, there's so much you actually have to do to raise a kid. You don't just push it out, feed it, and house it, and then tell it should be grateful because that's what you do. Like, it's so much work goes into children, and the fact that you can just do it and nobody can say no. I mean, obviously, there are certain things that could have a person not be capable of being a parent, and, it won't work out in that way. But for the most part, in order to have a child implanted inside of you, it doesn't even cost money to do that naturally. I mean, yes, when you go to the hospital, we live in a system that, costs money to get medical treatment, unfortunately. But so to have a baby planted inside of you, it doesn't cost any money. It's just home, natural. You can do it whatever. Like, I mean, if you are like a healthy person with great hormones and great fertility, that's a tricky subject to get into. But again, some people have trouble with that. So I want to tread lightly on this subject. But anybody can have a kid if they are able to have one. And it's just like a scary thing because we have all these people who are, traumatized adults who've gone through all these healing who are like, I don't want to have a kid. I'm so afraid to mess it up. I got so messed up as a child that I would never want to put that on another human. But the self-aware individuals who think like that are the ones who should be having loads of kids. We need more people who think like you. We need more awakened individuals, self-aware individuals. We need more amazing individuals because you have all these unhinged, horrible, lack of emotional intelligence, adult children basically pushing out these kids, creating humans and generations of horrible people. And then that's another thing. I of course want children. I of course want at least one child of my own. But it's something that's so scary. Like, I have my doubts, and I know that parenthood is going to be something that is a learning process, but for sure I'm afraid that I'm going to raise a good human being, but the world is going to ruin my child. I'm not afraid that I will, but I'm afraid that the world will, because sometimes it's easier to get in this life by being ignorant. Sometimes it's easier to get through by your mind being so closed that ignorance is bliss. Ignorance is bliss. And I know it's a privileged statement to say, but it's way easier to be dumb in this world. It's way easier to be not self-aware. It's way easier to be ignorant. You know how hard it is on your brain when you actually think about everything going around and what the heck is actually happening? I spiral at least twice a day about it. And the fact that I want to raise a child that knows and is aware and emotional intelligence and love and competence and confidence and self-identity and all of that. And I'm so excited. I never thought that I would want kids, but it's like something that I know is in my future. So it's just like, it's like you have a trip plan and you know it's coming and you're just so excited. It's just like, I know that sounds psychotic. It could literally be like not for another 10 years, but I just know that I'm meant to be a mom, and I'm very excited for that chapter of my life. And I know this was a rambly segment, and I hope it can fit into the episode somehow, but yeah, healing is super crazy because you know all these versions of you, other people know all these versions of you, and sometimes people only know one version of you, the healed version that, went from a traumatized person to a fully aware and, work in progress with what I am today, but I'm a lot better than I used to be. And it took me a few years to clean up my mess because I never really saw a future, so I didn't plan for one. And I am here now still, so I have to kind of clean up everything that I didn't take serious, and I just have to start taking things serious. I have to start, setting up myself financially, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually for the future. And I've been trying to do that the last few years, and I feel like I've been doing a really good job. And everything's been falling into place, and it's so crazy how the universe works. And yeah, that's my little segment. I didn't cry, which I thought I was crying. That's what made me pull out the mic, but I had to pee. And then I got distracted looking at my cat, and she cheered me up. So I'm glad I was an emotional wreck, but I'm happy to be one. It just wasn't the time today. I guess I cleared it up before I pulled out the mic. But yeah, that was so definitely apologize for that trauma dump a little bit. Not a trauma dump, but just like it kind of was a little low vibrational. I apologize for the vibe check. It was a longer vibe check. That was like a 15 or so minute vibe check. But I just wanted to get that out, and I wanted to get it over with in the beginning of the episode and kind of just transition into like the more brighter topic, which again, we're going to get into basically like experiencing your first healthy relationship after years of accepting and being toxic, thinking it's cute and stuff like that. I want to first talk about basically what it's like. I did really go really into deep. I went really in deep with the vibe check, but I feel like just to do a vibe check for this episode and to get like the vulnerability. I don't even want to call what I just did a vibe check. Let's call that a vulnerability check. This is the vibe check. So how am I feeling in my relationship and right now? And so I can preface why I feel like I want to talk about how difficult it is to be in a healthy relationship after years of toxicity. Not years, but just past relationship and how they can sneak up in your current, and just past traumas, again, how they can sneak up in your current situation. And so basically vibe check right now. In my current relationship, I would say this is the first time that I have truly been seen, heard, felt. Every single positive adjective I can explain is what my current relationship is right now. And if you asked any of my friends, because friends, they're the ones that are there for you when it's not going right. They're the ones that are there for you when you can't stop talking about them. You don't want to call them. They're there for you. And I will always, always be grateful for my friends because they've seen me go through it. They've seen me be put through the ringer. They see me cry. They see me sob. They see me lose sleep. They've seen me lose my breath of air, or lose my breath, or cry, sobbing, can't even breathe, throwing up, over a man. Ugh, brother, but yeah. That's why I feel like in relationships, it's super important to not lose those friends, because I get it. Sometimes you can get guilted and stuff like that, and you cannot really see the bigger picture because you're in it. But losing your friends in a relationship is not good. But we can talk about that later. That'll be my controversial take, maybe. Let me actually remember that. I'm not kidding. Don't forget it, seriously, because I feel like I'm gonna forget. I'm gonna remember now. This is how I'm gonna do it. Reply check. Hold up. Stormy, take over the pod. Take over while I get my life together. What am I doing? Oh, controversial take. What was my controversial take? Frick, I already forgot. Oh, losing yourself or friends in a relationship. Maybe. Okay. Maybe we'll get into that. All right. I'm sorry. Let's get into it. So basically right now I've never been in a more healthy relationship in my whole entire life. It's the best relationship I've ever been in. And I get it. Everyone says that about every relationship they're in. No, not true. But for me, this is the happiest I've been in my whole entire life with another person. Of course, my past traumas come and surface up. Of course, there are rocky times in any relationship, platonic, family, any type of relationship you're in with two people. There's going to always be conflict. It's about how to navigate that conflict that keeps you guys together. And it's like friends fight all the time, and I can get how a friend fight is a little different than a significant other. I feel like people take things a lot more. People take things to heart a little bit more in relationships because you're so close. That level of intimacy that is in a relationship that may not be there in the same way, if you know what I mean, in a platonic friendship, it makes your brain like react in different ways, and you like look at things differently because that's like your person. But anyways, I'm getting a little off track, and I want to bounce back to the topic. Being in a healthy relationship after years of, we already said it 1,000 times. I feel, again, amazing in my current relationship, and sometimes I'll literally just like pause at moments and be like, wait, this is how love is supposed to feel. Like, I don't obviously have to work at my relationship all the time because you don't want it to, if two people work at a relationship and really want it, it'll work. If somebody gets lazy, it becomes more, I don't know how to describe it. If somebody gets lazy in a relationship, like one person is working more at it, like the resentment leads, and it's just a lot. So I feel like it's super important to just like, I don't know, again, my brain is not braining right now. This is another podcast where I don't know what the heck I'm saying, and I'm just hoping that consistency gets me somewhere, and I'm barely consistent. So let's get into it. So what it's like to be in a safe, loving relationship after years of chaos, trust issues, self-sabotage, and, finally feeling secure, and, navigating those red flags, navigating, what's a red flag versus a trigger? Like, am I triggered, or is this an actual issue that is in my relationship? And as someone who has mental health problems, that is one of the hardest things to do in a healthy relationship. Let's dive back into history. Back then, I had no idea of self-identity. I had no idea who I was, so I was whoever I was around. I was a mirror. And it wasn't even in the cool, like, oh, she's cool with everybody way. Like, no, it's like, oh, she will do whatever you say and won't care and won't even see that she's being used, and she'll just call it a friendship or a relationship. And it's like, I accepted such horrible behavior because growing up, I didn't really have a great example. My parents were not in the best relationship, and I feel like I didn't really get to see like what actual love was. Like, it was cringy to see parents kiss, like other people kiss, like adults kiss. I was just like, ew, like what the heck is that? Because I never really saw like intimacy or like healthy, true love. Like, I thought it was work. I thought you had to earn it. I thought it was like a transaction. Like, I just thought like I owed everything to someone, and whoever got that like treat or got that from the receiving end from me, usually took advantage of it. And especially the men that I used to engage with, like, I felt like I just was like wanting attention so bad. That's why teaching self-respect and teaching a child to have an identity and know who they are and be confident in they are, it doesn't allow them to, to fall through those cracks and kind of just mold to whatever society tells you or whatever that person does. But back to my past. So I feel as though that I basically would meet somebody. They would show me attention, and I would be like, okay, this is the person. And it would be not even in like like she's in love. Like, no, like he would text me like, hey, after ignoring me for 3 days, and I'd be like, oh my God, he wants to talk to me. I'm so grateful. I've never been treated like this. He texts me like every 3 days. And sometimes when he goes to the bar and he gets really drunk, he calls me at 2 a.m. to come over. He's thinking about me. He's thinking about me. And like, I look back now, and like in my head back then, that's what I thought love was. I thought like it's like, have you ever you ever talk through your thoughts or talk through your past and you like tell somebody and like the lore is like loring, but like you're like, dang, I actually went through that. I want to be as respectful to my current relationship as I can, but I truly want to dive into like some stories about the past. Like the stuff that I would tolerate is actually insanity. And just I would let these men just like pull out evil, conniving demon spirits in me. Like I would turn into a crazy and like horrible. Like if they weren't texting me, if they didn't text me for 3 days, I was depressed and in my bed and I hated my life and there was nothing that could help, and I'd get a ding, look at it was them, and magically my mood was fixed. It's magically, oh, everything's fine, I'm the best person in the world, I'm so pretty, I love myself, oh my god, he texted me. And it's like, holy crap. And it's like I felt like I was constantly fighting for something. And I would never speak up for myself. I would just be like, maybe they'll date me, maybe they won't. A lot of my relationships I wasn't even asked out. It was just like, oh, come along with me. Do whatever I say. And yeah, sure, I'll give you attention sometimes. And it's like, it got to a point where I was in a 4-year situation. I hate even calling it a relationship because it's really embarrassing, but a 4-year situation in college where I just was like dragged along, and I thought the highs and lows and the ups and downs and like the roller coaster of emotions was like what I was supposed to be feeling, but I was just in flight or fight mode all the time. And it's like I was like a dog just like waiting to be like prompted and like sit, go, fetch, do this. And I just wasn't myself. And I, again, like truly like thank my friends, because without them, like, holy cow. And like some of them I'm not even friends with right now, but I still thank them because like that version of me needed that in that moment and they gave it to me. And it's just like, yeah. But truly, it's because like you see your friend and you know they deserve better, but you just like have to just be there for them and like let them cry it out and get through it. Because I was that friend that was like, girl, like leave. What the hell? Like, do you have self-respect? Leave. What are you doing? But that doesn't always work, because it definitely didn't work for me. So I don't know why I thought it would work for my friends. But yeah, I feel as though that just the way I used to be treated, I don't want to dive into this too long because it's just like, I'm trying to think of stories and I truly can't like remember. And it's like, that used to be all I could remember and all I would harp on. It's like, damn, I really let people treat me like that. I thought I had some interesting stories, but I honestly forgot. I truly forgot everything that's happened to me. I feel like this man is like healing my brain, because like all of my memories of like being in love and being happy and being with someone who makes me feel amazing are like with him. So and I'm not saying every single man I've ever been with has treated me like a piece of garbage, but it's been like nowhere. No, my brain goes to like the future and, oh my God, I can't wait to, do this and do that. And this person could potentially be that for me. I never thought that. Like I thought that with other people, like, oh, maybe they would want to marry me one day, but I never thought it would actually happen. I don't know. It's like a thing. It's like, I don't know. It's just like, because you think it's so hard. And like, I don't know. I just feel for those girls out there who aren't getting treated properly. You just really have to like step up to the plate and put yourself first, because I will say in this situation, I did a lot of things differently than I did in my past. And I, of course, needed that mindset switch that like, okay, this is not happening anymore. We're not going to do this. We're not going to be treated like this. We're not going to whatever. And it's like you switch that mindset and then you start setting standards like, hey, like this is what I want in a person. This is what I deserve and this is what I demand. If I don't get that, then you're not for me. Sorry, next person. And it's like, that's part of the dating scene. A lot of people are like, oh, I only want to talk to one person. I only want to do this. Like, no, like when you are dating and not exclusive with someone, you need to have standards and you need to be dating a bunch of people. It's as hard as it is, because even to this day, if I had to go back into the dating scene, which I don't plan on doing that, I would go full in. I would be dating so many people. I wouldn't be seeing people like sexually. I would be dating, going on dates, learning people. And it's just like a tryout system. It's literally like The Bachelorette in real life. That's what dating is. And it's like sad because obviously the girls have to see the guy on the TV do all that stuff. So I don't really get to see like the other interactions with the people. But yeah, I'm definitely rambling right now. But to get back on track, yeah, I've been being treated amazingly. And it's just like a breath of fresh air to just not have to like think about it. Like you're always thinking like, oh my God, he's out. It's 4 a.m. He hasn't texted me, and I saw him at the bar, and I left at 1, and he hasn't texted me. Like, where is he at? Like, I can't go to sleep. Like, I know this is like a meme and it's so basic, but my only thought ever is like, what if he dies before me? Like, that's what I think. Like, I don't think like, oh my God, I'm being cheated on, besides my trauma coming back. But like, I don't think that. And it's like, it's so fucking weird. And I just never thought I would get here. And I just talked about it in therapy today, like a year ago today. Like, I never thought that this was even on the table for me. Like, I joked about it all the time, but I was like, yeah, I'm going to be the cool aunt with a cat and I'm fine. Like, I'm done with this stuff. Like, I was packing it up. I was this close to packing it up. And then I found I found my amazing boyfriend. But I just feel like it's super important to find that safety net, because once you do, like, there's never going back. I can't imagine myself ever accepting anything less than what I am getting now. And it just keeps getting better and better, because speaking of better and better, because we communicate so well, that's what I finished my sentence. Going on into the next thing, because I went on a little bit of a tangent. The Benny Blanco and Selena Gomez podcast with Jay Shetty, or is that his name? I say things so confidently sometimes, and I'm like, wait, I don't want to misspeak. He's a great guy, but I might have said his name wrong. Jay Shetty. He did a podcast with Selena Gomez and Benny Blanco together, and they're dating, engaged now. And Benny Blanco did an amazing job at articulating his words into a way that can be transcribed to show people how a healthy relationship can work out. And when you actually put in effort, when you learn the person, when you cater to them, every version, especially if you're dating a woman, they are going to have a lot of versions because they have a cycle. So not only that is like, you deal with your emotions, you have different emotions every day. People need to be catered towards differently every single day. You can wake up and not be in the best mood, and you can wake up and be in the best mood. Those are two different people. And it's like, yes, I'm not saying deal with somebody who has emotional mood swings and can't control their emotions and you're in charge of that. But to see somebody for who they are, accept them, cater towards their needs, work towards a goal. If you have a disagreement, it's you guys versus the disagreement, not the disagreement, or not you versus you. It's not a war, it's a project. And think about it. When you first start a company, you're putting a lot of that work in. You're not seeing a lot of like result, you're just putting the work in. It's the same thing for when you start a new relationship. You see the person, you learn them, you make mistakes, you learn from the mistakes. Okay, we made this mistake. What can we do to prevent this if happening in the future, or lessen it happening? Or how can we get through it when it happens again? And it's like, these are important conversations to have, because a lot of people go like 2 years into a relationship and they barely have these deep conversations, and they don't even know who they're dating. And then they feel stuck in a cycle and they don't want to leave because they don't want to start over with somebody new. And it's like, you've been only dating for 6 months. Why are you guys talking about moving in? That's way too early. And it's like, yes, it's way too early to move in, but to talk about the possibility of it happening in the next 5 years and where we want our lives to be, and who wants that, or would moving in to be a possibility? Do you want marriage? Do you want kids? I'm not saying have a kid right now when you first started dating somebody, but to talk about those things. You don't have to say, oh, I want a kid with you. I want to have 3 kids with you. You say, I want to hopefully have 2 children. I want to hopefully get married. I want to hopefully have a house. I want to hopefully live in this state with this weather, and I would like to do this. Does that align with your goals? And if they don't, that's something to no, because that could lead to resentment in the relationship. If you're in your head, you have this whole dream that you wanted to live in Utah on a farm and raise a bunch of cattle and do this, and then you get 2 years into a relationship and he's like, oh babe, I want to live in this New York City in a penthouse and do stocks and go on vacation once a year, and you don't like flying, like, you just learn all this stuff, and then you're stuck in a relationship, and you're 40 years old with a few children, and you never got to go to your farm, and you travel all the time, and you have to, I don't know, you get what I'm saying. It's important to have these deep conversations, important conversations in the beginning of the relationship, because it's like a business meeting. You got to work on it. And, you know, when the company gets flowing and you know each other and it gets easier, you still have to meet, you still have to do that, but it's less of that hard foundational work that it's so crucial. It's like the first step of anything. It's super crucial to build that strong foundation. When you're raising a child, the first 2 years of its life are the most important. You're building a brain, you're building a mindset, you're building a nervous system, you're building like everything. And I'm going off on a tangent, but like, you don't understand how important. And it's just like, I am so big on communication that almost everybody in my life either is good at communicating, or I've not trained, but I've communicated, acted as who I wanted to present myself, and they've mirrored it and communicated back to me in the way that I like to be communicated to. I don't tell someone, hey, I want you to talk to me like this, but I talk to them like that, and then they talk to me back because they're a respectable adult. And I notice when I'm not aligned with people like that, our relationships usually don't last. And it's like they're kind of kept in that mutual category. Like, I say hi to you in public, but we don't hang out and talk on a deeper level anymore. And I don't go to you to my problems anymore. Or it's not the same anymore. You're just a surface level friend. And that's okay. I've learned to accept those people, because sometimes I like to get too deep and I'm like, you're boring. Why are we just talking about the weather? But sometimes you just need boring friends. You just need friends that are just going to say, hey, how are you? How are you doing? Hope you're doing well. See ya. But yeah, to get into the topic, I've been going on a long tangent. I said that about 30 times. When you get into a healthy relationship after years of toxicity, that toxicity follows. And you have to learn about having tame it. It's like you constantly have a shadow following you. And it's just like, yo, back up, shawty, back up. I feel as though that in my current relationship, I am in therapy, and I'm actively working on controlling my emotional regulation, as well as learning how to control my triggers and not blow up on people emotionally, and intensify my emotions severely when I feel triggered. And this is something that I'm very self-aware about. So that's like the first step, and I'm very proud of myself. Starting the mantras that I've been doing, I forgot to update you guys on. I've been trying to do them, and I've actually incorporated some into my relationship. And I feel like it's important to just ground yourself sometimes and really see, because you can get so lost, so angry, and whatever, that I feel like they just tend to sneak up on you, your old traumas. And I feel like it's kind of like my headphones came out. It's out of your control what happens. It's out of your control what happens, so you just have to be okay with the unknown. And I felt like my relationship right now was really not easy. It was just very it just flowed very easily, and it just felt like, I don't know, we just synced very well, very fast, and it just felt too easy. I felt like there has to be some it just feels like when something is too easy, and not easy, I don't know, it's just like easy going, didn't cause me any stress. I went to look for the stress because my self-sabotaging, I was just like, this is not real. And even the first day, I eventually want to get him on the podcast and talk about how we met. Maybe I'll do that for later on, maybe our 1 year or something. I don't know. But I eventually want to get him on and talk about it, because when I first met this man, I literally, after he left, after we hung out and had we hung out for the first time, I was like, oh no. I like wanted it to suck just so I could be like, move on with my life. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But this man just like, I was like, oh my God. No, 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 no. Because I knew how every time this started, and you get that certain feeling, you're like, fudge, that might be a crush. This might lead to feelings. This might lead to vulnerability. This might lead to me crying in my bed to sleep at night. I'm scared. And I really appreciate my boyfriend because he truly, like, I put up a huge wall, like a humongous wall, and he took a freaking wrecking ball and crashed into that thing's Miley Cyrus style many times. I built it up many times and he knocked it down. I built it back up and he knocked it down. Like, he did not give up on me as most people, an average person would. And I really appreciate him for that because, yeah, I was definitely a little self-sabotaging queen, and just looking for issues because it's just like, your brain wants to find the problem before it finds you. And it's just like a safety net and a comfort thing and like a control factor I have. It's like my trauma response. Like, I just want to control it because when you ride the wave, it's just like you don't know what could happen. And now that I'm like in it and I'm not as sabotage, I mean, I have my moments because, you know, it just comes up. And like, of course, we both have our moments. But I feel as though that it's super important to just be in it and enjoy the love that you're receiving right now, because although sometimes this might not be the person that is with you for the rest of your life, but it's the love that you need right now in your life. And it's not always like that, but in a healthy relationship, it's like, just take it and accept it. Yes, it's real. Yes, you deserve it. Yes, they really love you. And it's like, yeah, I ask him 1,000 times a day, like, do you love me? Do you love me? And it's like, I know he loves me, but just to hear it sometimes, it's just like, damn. I used to beg for someone to call me at 2 a.m. to hang out. And like, now I'm a princess queen in my castle. Like, this is actually insane. But I feel like this episode has been really good. I kind of rambled and I hope it makes sense. But as we continue through this episode, I hope everyone out there, if you're listening, you are loved. You are worthy of love. And no matter how hard it gets and no matter how like your thoughts can take over and you don't believe it, just literally believe it. Start lying to yourself. Literally start lying to yourself. Like, literally be delusional. Like, be delulu. Start lying to yourself. Say, like, I don't even know what I'm getting at here. But, like, it's just, I just look at my old self and I just, like, want to bawl into tears and give her a hug. Because she just needed love. Literally just needed love. And fortunately, I found it for myself and then I was able to find it from another person. But sometimes, like, that's not enough. And, like, you just need love. And, like, not everybody needs to heal themselves to get love either. Like, it's much better to find yourself and love yourself before you can love somebody else. But, like, sometimes people can heal you. And I'm not saying that's the thing for my relationship. I did a lot of groundwork before I got into it. But relationships can reflect back onto you. And sometimes it can be bad. If you're not ready to change, you can be defensive about it. But my relationship right now is like a mirror. Like, he will point, not even say, like, you're doing this. Like, I'll just see it. And I'm like, wait, I'm the mean one. I'm the cunt this time. And it's like, I'll, like, go off. And he'll be like, okay, well, all right. Yeah. Okay. And it's like, I'm like, damn, wait, I'm actually, like, rude as hell right now. For no reason. And, like, he has me thinking about myself. Like, oh my, like, why did I say that? That was so mean. I'm sorry. Like, I never had to apologize in a relationship. I had to beg to even, like, they would do me wrong and then ignore me. And then I'd be like, I'm sorry. Please talk to me again. And it's like, to get to this level of communication, trust, and, like, just chef's kiss. I can't wait for him to get in here because just talking about him, oh my God. And it's just like, people around me can see it too. I I'm very much so in love, and it's very refreshing to have someone who sees me the way that my boyfriend sees me. And I hope I do the same for him, and I see him for who he is, and I'm learning him every day. And it's just something that's just growing, and it's a beautiful thing, and it's amazing, and it makes me more excited for the future, because of course I was content with the idea of having a future and setting it up for myself, but to be able to do that with somebody who cares about you and wants it with you as well is just amazing. And I deserve it. I put in a lot of work. I did a lot of self identity work, self-worth work, and I got here. So yeah, mother trucker, I got here. Oh, baby girl. Okay, sorry, I'm yawning. I did shed a tear, by the way, guys. I'm a little sad girl. Just kidding. But yeah, I do want to talk about, what it's like to get into a relationship, because like I said, I want to eventually have him on here and talk about how we got here, and first time we met, first impressions and stuff like that, because I feel like it's important, and I want to be able to get each other to articulate our thoughts in a podcast. I think that would be amazing. We communicate well, but we both have the attention of a squirrel. I'm a little bit more grounded with my attention because I was snapped into place as a child. Girls, they can't have ADHD. But we can deal with it though. But yeah. So to get into the controversial take of the hour, I did not forget. Losing yourself or your friends in a relationship. Did we even talk about? Okay, so basically, I just want to make sure. I'm a silly girl. I want to make sure that I went over how your past can sneak up on in your new relationship, because that's really the main issue. It's just the trust issues, and just having someone who can cater towards your past. Obviously, if you just can't trust somebody, and you're convinced everybody's cheating on you, and you just project that onto somebody, that is not healthy. You can't just find somebody that's going to literally answer your call every 3 seconds and freak out when you're not by your, and you need to be there every second, and you're attached at the hip. That's not very healthy. But if you do have problems, and you do have a past, and you have a situation, and something is bothering you, and you don't feel comfortable bringing up in your relationship, you need to have a deeper talk. Because if you don't feel comfortable talking about things that bother you in a relationship, and even if it's something like, hey, I know this is insecure as hell, but I just saw this on this, and could you just explain that to me? And if there's, hey, yep, it's this is this. I'm sorry you felt that way. I hope that clears everything up. That's all it takes. And to be able to have somebody to do that, this is not a daily occurrence thing. Hey, who are you texting? Why are you on your phone? They're not responsible for catering towards your triggers, but they can help not make them worse. And they can they can learn them and help, relieve them, and know how you like to be catered towards, how you like to be talked to, how you like to be, de-triggered. I don't know. But I feel like it's just, I'm sorry that I'm rambling and I did not get into this, but it's just super important to have that. And I didn't even get into the Benny Blanco and Selena Gomez thing. Oh my God. I need a diagnosis. Forget the script. I need a diagnosis. I'm sending this to a doctor, and they're going to tell me what the heck I have, because I don't have ADHD diagnosed. I say I do because I do. There's no way I don't. I'm sorry. There's some kind of neurodivergent disorder that I have, and I hope it's I don't want the other ones, but it's just this is where I get canceled. It's 51 minutes into the episode. Again, unedited. It might be less than that edited, but I have ADHD. So I have been going off on this episode and just forgetting everything. But just to be able to have somebody in your like relationship that can cater towards you and, be there for you and not, make your, like Benny Blanco and Selena Gomez in the interview with Jay Shetty said, you're aware of her strengths, you're aware of her weaknesses. I feel as though that when you learn somebody's strengths and weaknesses, it's a very powerful tool because as a manipulator, you can use that against them. You can use their weaknesses against them. When you see that they're, in a weakened state of mind, you can maybe get something that you want out of them. And that's something that I am aware of 100%. Like, yeah. Oh, yeah, they don't like this. Of course I can do that when they whatever. But on the opposite end of that, I feel like knowing someone's positives. Like, I know what is the best part about this person. I know how they thrive when they feel like this, and this is how they like to feel. Then I will accentuate those, positives about that person and make them surround themselves to be able to make them the best version of themselves. Because truly, some people bring out bad versions of you. There are people on this earth that think you are the worst person to walk the planet Earth. And there are some people on this earth that could not live without you. That's why perception is huge, because perception is based off of the person, and it's also based off of you as well. You could just be a bad person, and some bad people might think you're good, and some good people might think you're bad. You could be a great person, and some, bitter people might think you're annoying, and some nice people might think you're a sweet little angel doll. It's just like, perception is huge. So I feel like when you have somebody who can bring out that best version of you and not bring out a demon child and make you feel like you're psychotic, it's just so relieving to have. And I feel like in my current relationship that is very prevalent. And the Benny Blanco and Selena Gomez interview got a lot of talk, and it's like, oh, I yelled at my boyfriend after this, or maybe I should be nicer to my boyfriend because damn, like, he does stuff like this for me. And I like the way that Benny articulated his thoughts and words so amazingly that it's just like, I feel like it set a standard for a lot of people, and we need more relationships like this. And why is it always the conventionally unattractive men that can like fucking have emotional intelligence and like actually put words together in a sentence? Like, it's just so. And Benny Blanco, honestly, everybody is a hater. Everybody's a hater. He's not my type necessarily, because I would say he's too old for me. But, and again, he's not like old, but like I'm 24 and he's like 37, I think, or 36, 38. I don't know. He's too old for me. But I don't think he's ugly. I don't think he's ugly. But to move on, I hate how men who are like conventionally attractive, traditionally, 'cause I hate to stereotype, but I am, have no emotional intelligence whatsoever, or the ability to like act as a human. They act as like a freaking Neanderthal. Like, what are you doing? But I honestly felt very like great listening to the Benny Blanco and Selena Gomez interview, because it was just making me smile the whole time. Because I'm like, damn, I never thought I would watch an interview and not feel like a bitter bitch. Like, ew, they're cringy. Like, this is me. Like, so many tools and tactics and little things that I thought were so small in a relationship that are actually huge are so prevalent in my current relationship that I was just like overskipping them and missing them basically. And it made me feel very grateful and super grateful for my relationship and how like amazing it is. But yeah, we got into the traumas and how they can like, pop up a little bit, but to just have somebody who can see you for you, know you for new, accept you for you, and be there for every version of you, and is a hard thing to find. And speaking of hard thing to find, just kidding. I don't even know what I was about to say, but controversial take of the week is again losing yourself, or like distancing from friends because of a relationship. First of all, we have two controversial takes. This is the first one. It's not even a controversial take, but I feel like maybe the controversial take is if you're in a healthy relationship, you should not be losing yourself, one. too. You should not be distancing yourself from your friends. If you get into a relationship and all like ghost your friends and all of a sudden like you have no time for your friends and you went from seeing them like every day, once a week, to only like every so often whenever your boyfriend had something to do, is not healthy. And I've seen this happen so many times. Like, and it's sad because you'll see that friend cry over that person, and the first person they run to when they're sad about the person that they're ditching you for is you. And it's like, I don't want to tell you to break up with him anymore. I don't want to be there for you anymore because this is exhausting. Like, I want to hang out with you and drive around and do something fun. I don't want to have to bring you out of a funk every time we hang out. And the whole time you're just talking about how he's not answering and how his location did this and his snap score went up, and it's like so exhausting. And I've lost so many friends in this way, temporarily, and then sometimes, usually it ends up like I outgrew a lot of those friends that center men around their whole existence is just, how can I please a man? How can I get a man to look at me? Did you see that guy look at me? This guy's texting me. I like this guy. This guy does this. This guy does this. I like this guy. This guy, this guy, this guy. Oh my God, did you see that guy? He's looking at us. Oh my God, I'm like, oh my God. And I used to be like that. So that's why it's so triggering for me. I don't come from a point of judgment or I think I'm better than anyone else. I come from a point of being triggered because that is how I used to think, and it was exhausting. I never really thought like that. I kind of kept it to myself. Like, my friends really never knew when I was talking to a guy, but obviously when those alcohol tears come, they would know. But yeah, so it just was like a lot, I feel like. And yeah, so just remember your friends, remember the people who are there for you. And it's like and it's also those things that are like, oh, like your boyfriend is the only person who cares about you when you lost all your friends after getting in a relationship. Like, girl, when people post like that, I know for a fact it was you losing your friends, not your friends losing you. Or it was your friends losing you, not you losing your friends. And it's just like, I can't feel bad for those girls, but at the same time, it's like, damn, what does he get out of those shackles? Let her out of jail. Let my friend out of jail. And like, the one thing I told my friends when I was getting into this relationship is like, if you see me distancing myself and I don't have time to hang out with you and I ignore you, and I do anything of those sorts, like, slap me in the face and pull me back, please. And I literally check in with my friends all the time. I make sure I'm there, like, for them whenever they need. And obviously, as an adult 24-year-old, I don't see my friends as much as I used to. So maybe it would be a little different if I had less priorities. But I feel like I see my friends a lot, and I'm glad that I'm in a relationship that allows me to do that, because I would hate for my friends to feel abandoned by me because they were there for me through so much. But yeah, that's my controversial take. And also losing yourself. Like, I went through a phase where I felt myself going back into that old behavior of having to like succumb to their life and do everything that they do and just like be them, basically. That's why I said I could never date someone who did heroin, because no, I wouldn't, but you know what I mean? Like, it was like I just wanted to be them. I didn't not wanted to be them. I just like did whatever they said. And it's like I found myself getting into that way a little bit. So I like pulled back and I was like, yo, we need to reinvent ourselves. The relationship is still going to be there if you don't hang out with them every day. And it's like, yes, you want to see them every day, but sometimes that space is needed. And that's another thing I feel like is important to talk about. But yeah, the last controversial take is the dating scene. Social media is ruining the dating scene. There's so many people have all these like expectations. Like, if he's doing this, that means this. If he does this, it does this. If he does this, it does that. If his zodiac sign is in this, it means that. I'm all for astrology. I love the astrology girlies, but like, come on. Come on, Neil. Come on, Neil. That boy being a Leo had nothing to do with a narcissist. His lack of mothering and daddying did. Thank you. Amen. So is modern dating culture setting us up for failure? Before I get into this, I do want to talk about, I don't think like, oh, like people used to be in love back then. Like, no, your grandma was in shackles. She couldn't open her own bank account, so open her account, and how to get her. She couldn't do anything for herself, so she was trapped in that marriage. Obviously, that's why she didn't leave. A lot of divorces are ending nowadays because people are leaving because they can. Women have the ability to start their own life, willing so. So it's a lot more easier to get out of a situation back then. Now, I do think infidelity, I do think lusting, I do think all that has been prevalent throughout society all the time. I think it's just a lot easier to get caught now. Or maybe back then I'd be like, did you see Ronnie with Betsy? Ronnie's dating Tiffany. Don't tell Tiffany. Like, that's probably how they were chatting up back then. Stormy, I love you. Yeah, so I feel like infidelity and all that stuff has always been around, but I feel like social media has this like mindset of like, one, there's like a certain standard that like girls have to look like, and I feel like it's just more like the fact that I will go on social media and see like an OnlyFans model shaking ass and it says liked by someone's boyfriend. Let's just say insert name here. That is so embarrassing to me. I can't even imagine if you deal with that is a non-negotiable. Like, stop. Why is your man following OnlyFans people? Why is your man following OnlyFans people? Why is your man following OnlyFans people, girls? Why is your man following OnlyFans girls? Why? Why is your man's following list a Las Vegas strip corner? You need to literally put him on a leash and walk his ass because he needs to go to the dog pound. Bad boy, sit. Ooh, I could not even imagine that. But apparently it's a popular thing. Y'all stay safe though, not me though. Y'all stay safe. That shut up and drive. That's what would happen if that. Oh my god. Okay. But yeah, I do think modern dating is a little bit messy. I feel as though I feel like people aren't as transparent of what they want in relationships, which is why there is a lot of issues. If you straight up tell someone, hey, I want this, and they say, I can't give you that, and you say, okay, well, maybe you'll change one day, so I'm going to stay with you. Psychotic alert. Yeah. So this episode has been going on for a while. I'm done with the controversial take. I really wanted to just focus on the amazing, like, if you're in a healthy relationship, you shouldn't be distancing yourself from your friends or losing yourself. The controversial take of just like modern day society of just like the ghosting, the hookup culture. It's casual. Hookup culture is very dangerous because it's like, it's empowering to be able to do whatever you want with your body, but it's not empowering to do whatever you want with your, it's very low vibrational. It's an energy exchange. I don't want to get too vulgar on the podcast, but it's just energy exchange. And I personally, if I could go back in time, would have never engaged energy in the way that I did, because it's just like nobody deserves that part of you. But if you want to give them that go off, queen. No one's stopping you. But me personally, that is something I would have thought about a little bit deeper, because I feel like it does ruin a lot of modern society, because women fall in love through dopamine, which is an oxytocin, which is a hormone. Fact check: men fall in love with through vasopressin, which in that intimate energy exchange, women get dopamine, which is why women are able to catch feelings through that intimate energy exchange, and men aren't, because vasopressin is done through solving problems. That's the hormone that gets triggered, solving problems, so that's why men are like literally in love with their friends, because the love hormone is injected into the air. I don't know. But this episode's been going on for way too long. It's going to be very annoying to edit this. I hope it gets put out eventually. Last thing I want to talk about is the big sister advice. I'm sorry I did not doing the what the F is going on here, the astrology update, because I know what's going. Apparently something in Jupiter, something, a 14-year cycle, 15-year cycle is ending. And I feel that the energy is in there. I don't know if it's because spring is starting and it feels amazing outside, but the energy in the air is so healing right now. I don't know what it is. Like, I went through like literally 2 weeks of pure hell and now I feel amazing. Is that like a mental illness or is it the astrology? But moving on, the big sister advice of the week is, just trust a good thing when you're learning to trust a good thing when you're used to toxicity is very hard. And just go with your gut feeling, and even if your gut feeling tells you something is wrong and you listen to it and it's right, it'll come back to you. You won't lose anything that you're meant to be, but you will stay in a repeated karmic cycle if you don't, end and learn from your behavior and patterns. Yeah, so I feel like that's the end of the episode. I really hope this episode is clear. I was very rambly. I'm sorry. It's kind of been a long day. I had my first day at my job today, or my first day at my first day at my new job today. That's a new chapter. I'm excited to start embark on this part of my life. I feel really good things coming, and I'm so happy to be here. I hope everyone enjoyed this week's episode of Lexifer Diaries. I hope you have an amazing day. I love you. Stay beautiful.